Coinbase founder and CEO Brian Armstrong was part of today's summit, and he joins us now exclusively from the White House. Brian, it's great to have you back on.
Thank you for having me.
So you literally just got out of the room, and that's exactly where I want to start with you, because this is very much a 180-degree pivot from what we saw with the last administration, and in terms of the policy that's beginning to roll out. Your analysis of this moment we're in and how the administration plans to move forward.
Yeah, well, this is really a sea change for our industry, and President Trump has really breathed life back into this industry, and it's already having a positive effect in America. For instance, Coinbase is planning to hire over 1,000 people right here in the United States due to the resurgence of this industry, and so it's already leading to American prosperity. Now, he announced last night that there's an executive order to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is incredibly exciting because the U.S. leading on this front, I think, is going to cause the rest of the G20 to take notice and think about Bitcoin as a successor to gold. It's a new gold standard. It's more efficient. Government should hold a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, in my opinion. And so the U.S. is now on offense. It's leading, and I think the rest of the world is going to follow.
And the details we're starting to get are that maybe it's $17 billion worth of Bitcoin that have been seized and are being held by the U.S. government currently. And yet Bitcoin is under pressure today. Why?
Yeah, well, it's true. In the past, the U.S. government has ended up holding Bitcoin and other crypto assets due to various agencies and law enforcements that have a reason for it. But in this new strategic Bitcoin reserve, they're actually planning to buy new Bitcoin in a tax-neutral way or a budget-neutral way so that it doesn't affect the taxpayer. That's a really big deal. Now, I was surprised, as you were, if the United States government came out and said it's going to be a holder of Bitcoin indefinitely and actually a buyer of Bitcoin in a budget-neutral way, I would have expected the price to rally even further. But whatever's happening in the short term, I'm confident that in the long term, this is going to be an upward trend for Bitcoin.
What are the details around how this reserve is stood up? For example, the custodian of choice. There had been some speculation going into this possible policy announcement that Coinbase could be in the running for that position.
Well, that wasn't discussed today, and I think that there should be a fair and transparent process for various companies to bid on that. But Coinbase has been a provider of crypto custody and trading services to the U.S. government proudly for many, many years, various agencies within the government. And so I hope that we get to throw our hat in the ring there as well.
Brian, what do you say to people who are disappointed that the government isn't committing to buying Bitcoin beyond a tax-neutral way?
Well, I wouldn't really agree with that as a criticism. I think that it's smart the way that they did it in a budget-neutral way. Otherwise, I think it would just raise questions about where that's coming from. But, I thought they were very smart the way they landed it. And in addition to that, the crypto strategic stockpile, they said we're not going to be going out and buying these. But if the U.S. government comes into possession of those through some other mechanism, they're going to hold on to it. And so I think they're just reinforcing that this is a neutral process. It's Bitcoin focused, and it's going to be fair and orderly and not cost the U.S. taxpayer anything.